Good morning. My name is Shreya Patida. In this video, I will cover deadlock in operating system. In this video, we will see how process become permanently blocked and strategies to prevent, avoid, and recover from the critical section. What is deadlock? A deadlock is a state where a state of processes are permanently blocked, each waiting for a resource held by the another process in the state. No process can proceed and the system comes to a standstill. In deadlock, the processes are blocked forever. Process wait indefinitely with no resolution. There is circular dependency. Each process hold a resource and another needs it, and the system impact. This impacts our performance degrades. Resource remain unused. As you can see here in this example, the two vehicles meet on a narrow bridge. Neither rivers both wait forever. This mirrors a deadlock. Each process holds a resource and wait for another, creating a indefinite standstill. If we see if we see if we see that a process P1 which holds the resource R1 and waiting for the resource R2. As you can see here, resource R1 is allocated to process P1 and P1 is waiting for resource R2. Similarly, the resource R2 is allocated to process P1 and the process P1 is waiting for resource R1. Both wait indefinitely, so this is a deadlock condition. Next, the four necessary conditions are: first, the mutual exclusion; second, hold and wait; third, no preemption; and fourth, circular wait. In mutual exclusion, only one process can use a resource at a time. In hold and wait, a process holds the resource while waiting for additional one. As you can see here, process P1 has resource R1 but waiting for resource R2. No preemption, resource cannot be forcibly taken, only released voluntarily. In fourth, circular wait, process from a circular chain, each waiting for the next. As you can see, P1 is waiting for R2 and P2 process is waiting for R1. This is the condition of circular wait. In this, we can see the chopstick dining philosopher problem, in which five philosophers are sitting and each are waiting for the chopsticks. Now, next is the resource allocation graph. In resource allocation graph, it is used for a resource allocation graph is a directed graph used to represent resource allocation and deadlock detection. Here in the resource allocation graph, we have vertex and edges. Vertex and edges. In vertex, we have process and resource. And in edges, we have process and resource. And in edges, we have request and allocation. The process the process is represented with the circle and the resource are represented with the rectangle. And this is our request edge and this is our allocation edge. So as here you can see that process P1 is requesting resource R2 and already allocated with the resource R1. Similarly, the process P2 has allocated the resource R2 and waiting for the resource R1. Now, methods to handle the deadlock are the ignorance, prevention, avoidance, detection, and recovery. In ignorance, we see that ignorance is also known as the ostrich algorithm. In it, whenever the deadlock situation occurs, we simply ignore it. And we are ignoring because we don't want to affect our performance or speed. The next mention in deadlock prevention, we make sure one of the four deadlock rules never happen. This is stop deadlock before it starts. The four rules are mutual exclusion, hold and wait, no preemption, and the circular wait. If we stop the hold and wait, the process asks for all the resource needed at once. If one is not free, the process wait without holding anything. Example, if we see that a printer job asks for printer and paper together. If one is busy, it lets go and wait. Second, allow resource preemption. If a process asks for a resource that is not free and the resources already has been taken back, the process then tries again later. For example, if we see a process that has the CPU but needs a scanner. If the scanner is busy, then CPU is taken back and the process waits. Third one is the use of resource order. Each resource has a fixed order. Processes must ask for them in that order. This avoids a circular bit. For example, if we see that R1 comes before R2, a process can ask for resource R1 then R2, but not R2 then R1. Next is the deadlock avoidance. In deadlock avoidance, we see carefully strategies that keeps the system in safe state. It checks that each request before giving out a resource. It also needs to know each process maximize resource needs ahead of the time. First, we will see the advanced knowledge that each process says how many resources it may need before it starts. Second, we will check the safety check. Before giving a resource, the system check whether the request would make the system unsafe. Third, the resource allocation. A resource is given only if the system can stay in the safe state. We have two state, one is safe state and other is unsafe state. If safe state occurs, our system deadlock never occurs. And if it is an unsafe state, then there are chances that deadlock can occur. To resolve it, we use Banker's algorithm. In Banker's algorithm, deadlock avoidance strategies that ensure that the system always remains in safe state and preventing deadlock before it occurs. The steps in deadlock in Banker's algorithm we use are first the declare max need. Each process must declare its maximum resource requirement before execution begins. The second, the safety check. Before granting a resource, the system simulates the allocation and checks if a sequence of process can still complete without the deadlock. And the third one, allocate itself. Resources are only granted if the system can prove it will remain in safe state after the allocation. Otherwise, the request is delayed. The last one is detection and recovery. Detection. The system allow deadlock to occur, then periodically runs a detection algorithm using the resource allocation graph or wait for matrix to identify the cycle. To recover it, we use two methods. One is the process termination and other is resource preemption. In process termination, we abort one or more processes. And in resource preemption, we reclaim the resources and roll back it. In the recovery, there are chances that our data loss can occur. Now, the comparison between the ignorance, prevention, avoidance, detection, and the recovery. The strategies used in all advantages and the disadvantages. In ignorance, the strategy used is nothing, do nothing, because it should not affect our system performance or speed. Advantage that it is simple and no overheads. And disadvantage risky if deadlock occurs. In prevention, we breaks the condition. Deadlock is impossible. And disadvantage is reduce the resource utilization. In avoidance, we use the banker's algorithm. Advantage that it is efficient and it is in the safe state. Disadvantages require prior knowledge. In detection, we detect, then recover. First, we detect, then we recover. Advantage are it's flexible and no restrictions on it. Disadvantage runtime overheads. In recovery, we terminate or preempt the process. The advantages are resolve the deadlock and disadvantage that it may cause the data loss. Conclusion. Deadlock is a critical operating system concept because it can halt the process, waste resources, and reduce system reliability if not handled properly. The four the four conditions. Deadlock require mutual exclusion, hold and wait, no preemption, and circular wait, as we had seen. The prevention and avoidance. These approaches stop deadlock before it occurs, but may limit flexibility or resource utilization. The last one is detection and recovery. In this method, allow deadlock to occur, then identify and resolve it with the controlled recovery actions. The last, choose the right strategy. The best solution depend on system goals, performance requirement, and acceptable risk. In practice, the most effective deadlock strategy is one that balances safety, efficiency, and operational needs. Thank you.